Hello and good morning. Yes, I'm a little bit sick, but I'm going to post anyway. We're going to do this video because I'm doing it on using CrossFit as a hedge against sickness. And this is really why I do this, which is funny. Now that I'm speaking, my voice has gotten worse. Let me drink some coffee. Hold on. Okay, that's a little bit better. I don't actually feel too bad. It's just my throat is super scratchy, which probably I've got strep throat. I don't know. I don't usually go to the doctor. So let me start over. Hey, this is Andy McCann. I own CrossFit Garage, and this podcast is to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finance. Okay, got that out of the way. So I do have some things I'm going to cover, and it'll probably be I say it's going to be a quicker podcast, but you know me, I like to talk. So I do CrossFit. Originally, I did it because I wanted to perform better in the adventure races. I needed a way to fix the time gap that I didn't have for training. I was a father of four, father-husband, and I worked with a company where I traveled, made a lot of money doing that, but I was gone a lot and trying to do the couple hours of training and running and biking to do these adventure races was not working. It was not going to, just didn't fit my lifestyle. So CrossFit gave me a hack to the time fitness thing. I could get super fit with a little bit of time, as long as I use some intensity. Does it matter that you do exactly CrossFit? No, man, I do not care. If time is your issue, then this is the best thing I've ever found. Now, you could say, well, Andy, I could just go out and run. You can. Go for it. It's good. It's not gooder. It's just good. We run at CrossFit. CrossFit's constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity will create a hedge against sickness and build you up for pretty much everything else you want to do. All right. I got a couple things I'm going to hit, but the primary thing is this hedge or this buffer against sickness. So yes, I am sick. Do I feel sick? Not really, but my wife is like, you can't go around and talk to people. They're going to get irritated. You need to stay home. So I'm like, all right, I'll listen to my better half and stay home. Usually when I wake up, I'm like, ooh, I don't feel good. In about an hour, I'm like, yeah, I feel normal. And I can be my peppy self, but my throat is off and it does feel pretty scratchy. What do I have? I don't know. Like I said, I don't usually go to the doctor for pretty much anything unless I have a broken arm. Don't get me wrong. I love doctors. I'm glad they do what they do. I have several friends that are doctors. I love them. But my wife has taken us down a journey of alternative health, or I don't know. It's kind of the health, what we would have done before we had easy access to doctors. And some other things that are out there. So we do a lot of essential oils. We do, again, when it's necessary. I don't do a lot of them all the time, but right now I am gargling oregano. Viruses and bacteria and things so they say, can't live in oregano. And if you consume that, it does kill things. And it is true. When I do it, my throat feels better, but it comes back probably because I keep talking and I keep moving. I should probably slow down. Anyway. We use oregano. We do use enemas. I know you're like, what? Dude, that's gross. You shove water up your butthole? Yes. Weirdly, it works. Sometimes it's just a threat of that. So the kids, when they were younger, they're like, I can't go to school. I'm like, well, you know what we're going to do? And they're like, yeah, I can go to school. Never mind. So if they're trying to skip a test, the consequences of skipping that test at home are quite severe. So they would not do that. It does work. It releases all the stuff. I mean, your back door is trying to get rid of all of the stuff your body didn't want or need and process down the stuff that you're trying to eject. So it just helps it get out. We also do those patches that Verity's into, the LifeWave patches, and I have seen it with my own eyes, the stuff that it can do. Now, typically for me, it doesn't really do anything, but my hair is turning less gray or less white. 5 years ago, my hair was completely white. Anyway, we do those things. We also go to the chiropractor. So we use Dr. Cam up front. So we have a lot of other things we do before we say, hey, we should probably go see the doctor. Does a doctor make sense? Yes. Do doctors and pharmacists and all that have drugs that really help? Yes. Do I think they push things a little too much because they think most people are retarded and they won't do the things they should do? Yeah, I think that too. Without the full picture, sometimes men are getting statins when really more questions need to be asked. Sometimes they're doing hormone replacement therapy when changing up the way you eat or the way you exercise might do similar, right? So I'm just saying they have an answer. It's a quick one because they know over time that people simply won't do the things they should do. I know this. We all do CrossFit, but The number of you guys that allow me to adjust your diet, I can count on one hand in the past 20 years of doing this. Man, maybe two hands. So the only one recently in the last, maybe year or two has been Alan and, somebody else asked me, I don't remember, Timmy. There's been two people that said, Andy, give me some guidance. I know people just don't like to eat better. They don't really like to change their lifestyle. They'll work out and they'll take pills, but don't mess with my eating. Most of what we eat isn't even food anymore. It's just entertainment. So watch out. My buddy Mark put it best. You can, what did he say about watch out what you eat because it's probably just entertainment? No, it was something like that. But food is entertainment. It's not actually nutrition. Okay. So let me jump through a couple things and then I'll get into the meat of this bad boy. So we do have this summer strength coming up. This is for your kids, middle school and high school. Will we take younger? Maybe. It just comes down to if your kid is high strung and won't pay attention, please don't ask me to take an elementary school kid that you can't even control. That's not what we're here for. We're here to teach them some skills. Usually middle school and high school is the route. If they typically pay attention, like Randy's kid, Hazen, man, I would coach that kid any moment. She is by far the smartest, most enjoyable kid I have ever met, even over my own kids. Of course, she's not my kid, so of course I like her more. And yes, so if Randy said I'm going to add her to that, by all means, that kid has earned the right just by her attitude and abilities to do almost anything adult-wise. She's better than most adults. So yeah, so ask me the question and we'll talk about it. A little coffee break there. Our summer strength is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 11. We basically follow Mark Ripeto's starting strength formula. It's what they call a linear progression model. That just means we lift more next week. And we're teaching them the primary power lifts, which are going to be back squat, deadlift, and then press. We do both regular or strict press and bench press because who doesn't like bench press, right? And then we do introduce them to the idea of the clean, but it's a little bit more complicated. Some kids love it. Most kids are like, that's dumb. I don't want to do that. And that's fine. But we do want to introduce it. This year, currently on the schedule is Coach Josiah will be the lead. And then his minions will be myself, Oliver Mullinex, Angela Knight, and then Grace King will be popping in as work allows. Okay. Next thing. Oh, this is a fun one. I got sick. And so Olivia and Evan and Levi all have their CrossFit level 1. I was like, guys, I don't normally do this, but I need your help. Your mom doesn't want me doing anything stupid, and stupid would be going to the gym and coaching people with a throat that sounds like this. I'm going to make everyone mad. So would you guys coach the classes? I picked 3 classes, which I hate doing. The third class, I just feel like my skill set is horrible. I do good on the first 2. And then the third one, I don't know. I forget what I've already said. Time is a blur. And so I don't know where my stories and messages and things, I don't know. It just doesn't work well for me. So Olivia and Evan coached the 4, 5, and 6. I threw them under the bus. I was like, I just go and do it. Do the best you can. Thank you, Coach Cam, for being there to give them some guidance. And thank you for the couple of you guys that emailed and said, hey, they did pretty good for being thrown under the bus. So I appreciate that. Let's see, we're doing some of the things. I've got, it's Jordan, Alan, Josh, of course. He's been doing this for a while. Myself and Alan Lindsay are going to be pushing some, and David Wallace, pushing some High Rocks DECA style training. We've been doing this with Josh on his first Saturday of the month. Jordan said, hey, let me do a couple classes during the week and see how it goes. So it'll be for 4 classes in a row or 4 weeks in a row. Starting the week you hear this podcast. What is that, the week of the 20th or something? Oh, no, that's too far away. The week of the 18th? But anyway, so it'll be 7 p.m. Anybody can show up. You don't have to be a member. You just have to have a waiver. So if you want to bring somebody to it, by all means. We're just trying to get the word out there. We're not going to we don't have all the equipment yet. What we're doing is trying to build the program to find out how many people are interested before I drop, I don't know, the equipment's expensive, man. A quick calculation said that it's something like $10,000 just to get kind of set up. And if you think those ski ergs are $1,000 a piece, we only have 1. So right there, if I bought 4 more, that's $4,000 plus dollars. And then I got to buy the other stuff too. So I don't want to inject capital if we can't make it work. But there's a lot of people doing these things and I love it. It's basically CrossFit with running. Yeah, we can do that. So you'll see that. We're also going to try to do a simulation on, it's either 11/28 or the weekend before that. I know that's Thanksgiving, but I got to pick a date somewhere. And there's a High Rocks in Nashville that we want to kind of like be in front of. There's also a DECA competition, and I forgot which weekend it is. Maybe it's in November, because I think remember saying we'd do something in October. So anyway, that's coming. So I already did Summer Strength. Join us. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, I just have up my Facebook page here. Evan and Olivia graduated. Okay, a bunch of other things that we're doing. We continue to try to drive community and the use of our fitness. So we've got sort of a partnership with Mountain Goat Adventures. They do a lot of bike and run events here locally. So they've got a Black Bear Rampage. I think it's this actually, by the time you listen to it, it would have passed. It's on the 17th. And I'm going to, hopefully, if I'm okay enough, I'm just going up there to clean the course up. So I'll be like the last man, the sweeper, and then pick things up. So we've got our in-person, the portion of the hybrid CrossFit Level 2 happening Saturday the 23rd. Of course, the gym will be closed because CrossFit is coming to use our gym to do their thing. If you're interested in your CrossFit Level 1, let me know. I always try to let them know how many of us are interested, because if there's a lot of us, then they'll do a course here. We don't have to go anywhere, and it's right here with us. Memorial Day, we've got 6 a.m., 7:30 a.m., and 8:30 a.m. opportunities for you guys to do that. That's Monday the 25th. And, of course, our Summer Strength, like I said, it's starting up June 1st. There are some other things we're doing. Let's see if I read down this list here. Yeah, the True Challenge will come back October 10th. And there's a couple other bits in there. I think I've got one right here. Oh, no, this is the gym page. It's the same stuff. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this thing. CrossFit has very cool definitions. They're one of the few places that actually try to define what we're doing. Like, for example, if you ask people who's the fittest on the planet, it's someone who can do a triathlon. Well, I mean, they can move a long time in 3 disciplines. Does that make them the fittest? I don't know. Some people will say it's the strongmen because they can lift more. Some people would say it's CrossFitters because they can do anything. I don't know. I don't really know the answer, but CrossFit tried to define it. They said CrossFit defines fitness as work capacity, so the increase of work capacity across broad times and modal domains. So if you're increasing your fitness or your abilities across broad time, so like 1 minute to, 60 minutes or 4 hours, or like in these adventure races, 10 hours, and modal domains. Modal is movement domain. So I'm lifting, I'm running, I'm biking, I'm playing ping pong, whatever. CrossFit says whoever does better in all these things is the most fit, which I agree with. So then they said, okay, let's create a curve. So they've got a 3-dimensional curve. I know you can't see it if you're listening, but you can go to their website and pull up CrossFit Sick, Well, Fit Tracking. If you pull that up, you'll see what I'm looking at. But essentially what they're doing is they've got the power over time and age. So they're saying we want to increase your power over the time domain of the workout as you get older, or at least as you age up as much as you can. So I am on the backside of strength. If I focused on it, I could definitely add it to my back squat, but I don't because I'm greedy. I want everything. So could I run faster? Yeah, I probably could. And sometimes I do. I actually got a PR in the run and I think an 800 meter. Could I lift more? Yes. And so but I don't focus on any of that. So it's tapering off, right? My skilled lifts, Olympic lifts, clean and jerk and snatch still go up every now and then because it's a skill. And so I'm becoming more skillful. Yes, it does take strength, which is how I know that I'm not like falling apart. Plus, I'm 52. I made it to the CrossFit semifinals, which means I am fitter than 1% of the people at my age group on the planet. So yeah, I know that already. They just came out with, what was it? It's something like the Academy of Exercise and Science or whatever. They have some initials that you can go get certificates. They literally just said, you know what? To get stronger, you don't actually have to do hypertrophy all the time. You could do anything else. And essentially what they've done, if you unpack the things that they wrote, they basically said CrossFit actually works. Like, no crap. I'm living proof that this thing works. Let me pause and take some coffee. I think my coffee needs to be hotter to make it work correctly. Anyway, so this is our ideas. We want to grow our capacities. We're greedy. We want everything. I'm going to cover a couple of those things in a second. This picture, I'll describe it to you, is the continuum from sickness to fitness. So basically imagine a half circle or a rainbow. On the left side, you have sickness. In the middle, you have wellness. And on the far right, you have fitness. So as you move through, like basically most people are in this well category and they use the basic biometrics. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Boom. Yeah, look at that. Some basic biometrics to kind of qualify this. So if you're well, your blood pressure is. If you are well, your body fat is. If you're well, your bone density is. Actually, you know what? Let me pull it up in a chat GPT real quick. See if you can give me some quick answers while I pause you. Hold on. Look at that. Chat is so smart. I hit enter before I meant to. Usually you can do shift enter and it'll drop it down. You can add more stuff. And I didn't even have to put the continuum in there. It said, oh, I already know that stuff. Here you go. So it did it for me. So let's see if I can grab these as we go. So body fat. If you're over 25%, they're going to call you, for men, then you're calling you sick. Women, it's 32%. So well or healthy measurement would be for men about 18% and women about 25%. Of course, women carry more fat. That's just how it is. Boobs are fat. So, I mean, it's going to measure those in there. You just have 2 pockets of fat just waiting to be measured. Well, you know what I mean. And that's going to count. In this case, it's not against you. They're allowing for it. So if you're fit, your percent body fat is about 10% for a guy and about 16% for a girl. These are numbers to shoot for. So currently my percent body fat is below the 15%. I am sure. I did go to, let's see if I could pull up the DEXA scan that I did at the place across the street, the Thrive Medical. And anyway, so I know that. So blood pressure, if you are in the sick category, it's going to be above 140 over 90. If you're normal, it's usually about 120 over 80. If you're healthy, it's going to be something like 105 over 120. Oh, sorry, I take that back. It's going to be like 110 over, what is that, 70? 110 over 70 is the fit category. So for right now, when I'm sick, I'm sure my blood pressure is higher because my body's working more, it's pumping more, all that, right? The resting heart rate, if you're 85 beats per minute, then you're sick. If you're about 70 beats per minute, you're in the healthy range. If it's better than that, so like 50 beats per minute, you're fit. So right now, actually, let me do a count. Let me hit you guys on pause. Okay, so I just did a quick count of my heart rate. It was 11 beats in 10 seconds, so 11 times 6 is 66. So even now, my heart rate, even though I am literally sick, is still in the well category. So if I went to the doctor and they just did my biometrics, they'd be like, just get out of here. There's nothing wrong with you. Well, there's a lot of things wrong with me, but in this case, health isn't the problem. Okay, so let me go through a couple more of these things. The next one is blood pressure, heart rate, triglycerides. Okay, well, yeah, they've got that measure. So 200 plus is you're sick, less than 150, healthy, less than 100, healthy or fit. HDL, good cholesterol. So, you know, my fight with this good and bad cholesterol, but this is what they say. HDL, let's see, what are they saying? Less than 40, then you are sick. About 50, you are normal, and 60 plus, you are healthy. Now, I would kind of go against this one because HDL's, one of its purposes is to clean up dead LDL. So if your LDL was thriving and living in good, you would have less HDL because there's not as much work for them to do. Okay. They also said on the LDL, no, they didn't give really some numbers there. What else do I want to say there? All right. So fasting blood sugar. Now, this is a funny one. You have to actually go work to get this tested. It's hard to actually do. And fasted means different things to different people. When the doctor says fasted, he's like, you can drink water. When we hear fasted, we're like, oh, I'm going to do coffee with cream and sugar and all that stuff. That is not fasted. So I had a guy send me some stuff and say, hey, check out my numbers. What do you think? And he did a fasting blood sugar test. And I was like, what did you do for fasting? He's like, I woke up, had an egg, and then had some coffee. I'm like, well, that's totally not fasted because you had an egg and coffee. He's like, coffee counts? I'm like, well, what'd you put in your coffee? He's like, cream and sugar. I'm like, so you did a fasting blood sugar test and you had sugar. He's like, now that you say that, I can see what I did was not correct. So he's going to go redo that. I know you're thinking, Andy, are you serious? Yes. This is the type of stuff that I deal with. So I find it awesome to hire an expert because the expert already knows the problems that most people have. And that is a normal problem most people have. They don't know what fasted actually means. Okay. There's some other things that chat put in there, but I'm going to drop that because I don't think we need to see it. I had it redo it one more time. Oh, this is a good one. I lied. I'm going to take that back. It's not part of the continuum, but it could be a measurement that we look at. It's like pull-ups. You can't do any, that's not great. That's it. Can do at least like one, then you're on the well side. You should be able to do that. 10 plus, you're super fit. Can't run a mile. Yeah, that's sick. About an 11-minute mile, you're in the well category. Most of us run less than an 8-minute mile, and that would put you on the fit category. Deadlift, unable to lift even close to your body weight, sick. Body weight, you're healthy. 2 times your body weight, you are fit. So anyway, there's some pretty cool things in here, what they're trying to do. So the idea, though, is our assumption, let me read this. Our assumption is that everything we can measure about health will conform to this continuum. And it's true. I just read some things that aren't on the list. Therefore, sickness, wellness, and fitness are measurable of a single quality, health. And that's right. So are you healthy? Man, look at these things. Put it in the ChatGPT. Give me a call. I'll help you walk through them. It's not rocket science. When somebody else looks at your life, usually they can tell you really quick, no, that's stupid. But when you look at your own life, it's hard to see it. Okay. So this is a primary reason we do this, is we want to be fit so that if we get sick, we're just well. And if something and tragedy and sickness hits us, we're okay. Like right now, I actually probably could go work out. I know it's dumb, so I'm not. Give your body some time to rest. I am very antsy. I would like to do something. Of course, my dog loves it because it's like, hey, are we going for an extra long walk because you didn't work out? Like, yeah, sure we are. Let's go. But it is kind of hard to walk Ollie. He is a very big dog, and he hates large white vehicles. So trucks, SUVs, etc., trash trucks, man, he lunges for. And I am trying to teach him to not do it, but that's just his instinct. Anyway, okay, next thing. We are CrossFitters. We are greedy. Yes, it is true. I could do something to aim the program to get you stronger, but I have to give something up. It is true. I could get the program to aim you towards endurance and run, but you would get weaker because they just don't like each other, strength and endurance. I could have you more bendy. I could force VO2 max working out. The thing is with CrossFit is we want to be generally good or better at everything, not just one thing. And so what that means is we want it all. And how do you do that? It's very close to training for sport, which is why what we do looks the way it does. Sport is the ultimate, is the pinnacle of the stuff, is the expression of, are we healthy? If we can play sports, then yeah, you're healthy. Can you fight off disease? You're healthy, right? So we're greedy. We want it all. Yes, it does mean we're going to go slower on everything. So there's 10 general physical areas that they all agree are part of the movement compendium, right? So this, in the encyclopedia of Are You Moving Well, we would track these things. And you can train these things individually or together. CrossFit says, let's do them all. We are greedy. We want the whole package. I want to look good naked, and I want to become harder to kill. Okay, so first one, cardiovascular and respiratory endurance. So the body's ability, the ability of the body's systems to gather and process and deliver oxygen. Yeah, let me back up on that one. So on this, there's a continuum they've got, or not a continuum, a chart where it's the normal, most studied pathways for delivering energy to your body. So it's phosphagen, glycolytic, and then oxidative. Oxidative, which we just were talking about a second ago, is the long burn. I am breathing and I'm putting oxygen into my body, right? It could also be not just the breathing, but your red blood cells. So it's the whole thing that goes together, but it's delivering oxygen. So that is the long burn. We do train that. That is one of the 3. There are more than 3 areas, but these are the ones that people primarily study. All right. So the next one is stamina. We want that too. The ability of the body's systems to process and deliver, store, and utilize energy. So stamina is just any energy. And those are those 3 phases: phosphagen, glycolytic, and oxidative. And again, I know there's more, but those are the 3 big ones. We want to train those. You probably never even heard of that. You didn't even know you were doing it. And this is the beauty of CrossFit. We're doing things for you, and you don't even have to understand. Just come listen to the coaches and follow the programming. Now, if you wanted to slant it towards something, by all means do it. I just can't make everyone do what you want. Weirdly, not everyone agrees what you think we should be focused on. They're like, you're going to say strength. They're going to say no, endurance. Someone else will say bendiness or flexibility. But you can stay at the gym longer or come earlier or whatever and do anything extra that you want. Now, you have to understand, as you do more, you need to do a better recovery system. If you don't, then you're actually diminishing your gains. And this is why I try to point out that, hey, I made it to the CrossFit semifinals. All I ever do is shoot for the intended stimulus of the workout. That's it. RX, intermediate, I don't really care. I'm looking at it going, well, I know what these will take me, so I can adjust and massage. And look, here I am doing better than most at my age group and in the gym, simply because I put in the time and just aimed for the stimulus. Mahi and Craig have both said, Andy, I didn't believe you, but I'm doing it, aiming for the stimulus, and I've been doing it for a while. And yes, you are correct. I have made many gains just doing that. RX is not the goal. Doing intermediate is not the goal. It's the intended stimulus. The other two are just the frameworks. Now, if we didn't have those frameworks, I couldn't track and measure. So we need to track and measure it because that just makes it more fun. Okay, so stenoma. Next one is strength. The ability of our musculature unit or combination of muscular units to apply force. I mean, that's it. There's small, strong, like a rock climber, and then there's super big and strong, like a bodybuilder. Will one person be stronger than the other? Sure, it can happen, but they could also be equal and not visually the same. So it totally depends. You can come in. Evan? Well, hold on. That was my wife looking to come in and possibly talk to me. This is the problem with podcasting at home. Okay. Flexibility. The ability to maximize the range of motion at a given joint. I mean, yes, right? That's why we roll and stretch. I wish we would do that. I wish we would do that longer. And it's in there to do. And some of y'all just leave. Man, you're an adult. If that's what you want to do, fine. But I know as a 52-year-old doing this for 20 years, this is a big component of it. I want to give up lightly my abilities. Flexibility could be also just my ankle mobility, right? My hips below my knee when I'm in a deep squat. I would rather go slower and do that correctly. All right, power. The ability of a muscular unit or combination of muscular units to apply force in the minimum time, right? Explosion. Speed. The ability to minimize the cycle time of a repeated movement. So not just running speed, that's my feet, but speed as in I can clean and jerk faster, right? So power and speed kind of go hand in hand. Coordination, the ability to combine several distinct movement patterns into a singular distinct movement. This is a lot of the gymnastics stuff or any compound movement. We're trying to teach that. I have seen people come into the gym that I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I can help this person. But they persisted and listened and they came out great on the other side. Yes, they work a little bit harder. Some people grow up, playing sports, being a feral child, and so they get coordination, else you get lots of bruises. If you didn't grow up a feral child, then sometimes coordination is not there. Agility, the ability to minimize transition time from one movement pattern to another. So agility, box jump to a pull-up, right? I can move around. Balance, the ability to control the placement of the body's center of gravity in relation to its support base. So this, balance, we don't do as much. Usually if you're upside down, you can notice it a lot more. Or if you're doing like a pistol or one-legged squat. Accuracy, the ability to control movement in a given direction or at a given intensity. So accuracy for us would probably be more like a wall ball or maybe even a jump rope. If you're doing double unders, you need to be coordinated, have agility, but also accuracy. You need that rope to land in the same place so you can keep making the same jumps. Anyway, this is the stuff we are chasing. I do this because my big why is, why do I do this? And the big why for me is I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids' in soccer when the time comes. So what does that mean? It's a great picture for me to have in my mind. One, my kids and my kids' kids have to like me, so I can't be a dick. So I'm working on that. If you have issues, talk to Coach Jamie. She is a licensed therapist, and she also just created a program called Rewire, which is going to be moving and coaching, or that sounds, of course it's always coaching, but movement and heart at the same time. So she's going to help work with you as we move. I think that's awesome. I get some of the best conversations going with my kids when we go on walks with the dog because movement just makes you want to talk. And so they will unload and let go, and we can get some good conversation. Anyway, this is what we're doing. I've got to be kind. I've got to be eating right. I've got to be like strong enough. I don't know, all that stuff to be able to be out there with the kids doing whatever the sport is. I said soccer, but it doesn't have to be soccer. The point is I'm out there and I'm active. What does that look like? I mean, it looks like what I look like now. I'm 52 years old. I always say I'm 107. I'm not, but I'm 52 and I'm pretty able, and I don't take any medication at all. So I don't know. Seems like this stuff works. Yes, N equals 1. That's a study of me. Are there other people in the gym like this? Yes. Will they tell you about it? No, it's part of the humble side of it. In our gym, we have a lot of people that are humble. So our slogan has always been, we are happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now, as well as in our 90s. Yeah. So usually with their humility, they don't point it out very much. But if you ask them, they will talk to you about it. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Again, my throat is a little bit off. I think I got better as we went. It was the hot coffee kind of soothing the throat, I guess. If you're in the Woodstock area and you would like to come check us out, please do. Just send me a text, an email, a direct message. Actually, I'm really bad on all the direct messages. So if you do that, it might take me some time. If you want to come to our High Rocks and DecaFit stuff, yeah, that's going to be free right now, Wednesday nights. And then Josh usually does the first Saturday of the month. So let us know. I really just need a waiver. And if we get a lot of interest, then we'll start buying the gear for it. All right, guys, I hope to see you soon. If you need me, you know where to find me. Take care.